Hey everybody, it's Marking Bad again. I'm back already because I decided, you know what? Fuck this. I'll delete the fucking tweets just so I can see what the fuck is going on. And it's fucking fascinating. It is absolutely mind-bogglingly amazing. Let's go through from the start, just for anybody that missed it in the first place, what's going on here, okay? Give me a second. I'm gonna tweet something out. And give me a moment here. Back to my little panel with the Hangout. All right, so this is what happened. I got locked out because apparently, I am a reprehensible human being. So move over. We've got me calling somebody an asshole. That person happens to be at Mia Koopa. And that person on the 7th or 8th attempted to construe Mark Lepine as a member of the MRM, with the intent of framing Mark Lepine's horrific violence as being related to MRM behavior and manifestos, which is blatantly fucking false. His entire citation for this was use of the Wikipedia page about the Montreal Massacre, in which stated things like, Mark Lepine was raised by an abusive Muslim father. He changed his name at a later date after his father had been removed from the situation to Mark Lepine, and that he grew up with a vitriolic hatred of, in particular, feminism. Now, I know this is probably going to come as a shock to at Mia Koopa, but just because MRAs do not agree with feminists does not mean they want to see them fucking shot or killed or abused in general. But sure, fucker, let's go with that premise. Let's assume that you're right. Can you find me evidence? Because I asked you repeatedly and you didn't produce any. You fucking asshat. So apparently, calling somebody an asshole and then disagreeing with feminism on my own part, that constitutes harassment, according to Twitter. This is the first tweet I had to delete, folks. Moving on. Then there's this one, which I spoke about earlier in the previous Hangout I did, 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, where I pointed out that Ruth Mills had made this attempt to conflate neo-Nazism, white supremacy, and alt-right involvement with being a Trump supporter. So I tagged in a black bisexual Trump supporter. Tagged in a man who is black. He is bisexual. He voted for fucking Trump. Apparently that constitutes fucking abuse. You fucking whack jobs over at support. I would absolutely love to know how that qualifies as abuse. So we've got my explanation that tagging a black Trump supporter into a conversation in which someone else described Trump supporters as neo-Nazis, as white supremacists, is not offensive. It is proof that blacks in the U.S., as well as numerous other minority groups, voted for Trump. No part of asking a Trump supporter to join a conversation is ban-worthy. Ta-da! Then we've got their response. We're going to keep you locked because you didn't delete your horrible tweet in which you tried to expand the conversation. Then we move on to me responding with, I can't even check the other two tweets that you claim are horrific and terrible because I have to delete this tweet that's not even abusive. Then we move on to me submitting another appeal on it using exactly the same language. They claim they're going to check into it. Well, this is fucking support. It took them an hour to get to the first fucking check. Then we move on to, I've since deleted the second tweet. This tweet where I accuse at Mia Koopa of self-citation is not acceptable, and nor is Wikipedia, and that he is proving himself to be a liar or an idiot or both thus far. That is abusive. Because one of his responses was to screenshot where I had asked him for a citation. And then he took tweets out of context in screenshots from my account and claimed that my account was a monument to misogyny. One of those was a joke that was acknowledged as a joke by the person I sent it to. She came into the conversation after the fact and said that was absolutely a joke. I understood it to be a joke. The other one was a comment on feminists discussing feminism, not misogyny. Discussing women could potentially be misogyny, could potentially be misandry, could potentially be misanthropy, but it's probably not misogyny in most cases. I can say I like women. That's not misogyny. Also, none of the other fucking categories, you fucking dolt. So we've got this fucking tweet which apparently is abusive because I called him a liar, an idiot, or both. Then we move on to the fourth. I have, again, previously asked him for a fucking citation to prove that Mark Lapine is in any way connected to the MRM. On the day before the anniversary of the Montreal massacre, he is intentionally politicizing an event for his narrative. I've asked him to defend his assertion. He's incapable of doing so. And I call him out again. Told him to concede that he is in fact an ass and he is fabricating shit out of whole cloth. That is considered abusive. Now, I'm just going to pull up the Twitter TOS really quickly here. Look at this. No part of this was violence or threats, direct or indirect. There's no valid argument for this to be harassment. I was not sending abusive messages. I was not particularly engaged in one-sided or threatening behavior because he responded to me several times. I have, in no part of any of those tweets, included anything that should incite anyone else to harass another account. And I do not use multiple accounts. No part of this included violence against or directly attacking or threatening other people based on race, ethnicity, national origin, sexual orientation, gender, gender identity, religious affiliation, age, disability, or disease. Nothing in that was anywhere in there. Do not have multiple accounts. Did not include private information. Did not impersonate anybody. Did not advocate self-harm or indicate that I was going to be involved in self-harm. Therefore, no part of any of your Twitter material here in the TOS about abusive behavior is even vaguely relevant to what you did to my account, Twitter. I would like to know exactly how calling people out for blatant fabrication in service of a narrative is in any way, shape, or form considered abusive. I would absolutely love to know that, Twitter. That is absolutely fucking absurd. That is ludicrous. That is a level of disingenuity that just absolutely baffles me. This is not even just a matter of bullshit baffling brains. I don't think I'm that fucking bright. And I can see that this is not in any way, shape, or form harassment or hateful. I tagged your ass in, Jack. I tagged your ass in support. Let's have some fucking return on this. I'd love to know why you consider calling somebody out for intentional fabrication to be any form of harassment. All right, I'm going to go back to my beer. Then I'm going to see about maybe making the video I wanted to make instead of this bullshit.